All right, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and we've got the official pricing for this week's pre-orders. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty much spot on with everything, with the exception of one prediction. And to tell you the truth, it makes me happy because it's much more in line with what it should be rather than what I thought it was going to be. But if you are new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and warcry content as well. All types of news, reactions, reviews, tons and tons of painting and modeling tutorials, pretty much anything to do with wargaming hobby. So, but that being said, let's jump right in with the official pre-order pricing for this week's releases. So obviously we have quite a bit of the Eldari stuff coming out this week, and just scrolling on down here. To start off with, we have the Avatar of Khaine. This model is going to be 3 different head options and 3 different weapon options. I am definitely planning on doing a magnetization video for all the options so that you can have all the choices at your disposal. Really, it's just for looks because they don't have any different stat lines or anything like that. But it comes with a bunch of cool options, and I want to make sure they're all available so I can mix it up at will. And I feel like a lot of other people probably feel the same way as well. So, but that being said, keep your eye out for that. Also going to kind of do something to fix this little blunder right down here with the fire and the tabard. But regardless, you guys aren't here for that. You're here to find out what the official prices are. And these are all going to be in USD. And the truth is, I overestimated the price on the Avatar. I thought it was going to be coming in around 150 to 170 just because of his size and bulk. And, you know, let's be real, the rule and price bloat from GW. But the truth is, I was way off, and I'm really glad I was, because he is going to be $100 USD. A smooth, even balloon, $100 for the Avatar. So, you know, compared to something like Guilliman or Abaddon, sure, he's a little bit more expensive, or more Vol. They're all coming in closer to like 60, 65 range. But he is pretty beastie, and I think he's going to be, it's hard to tell without seeing them right up next to each other, but I'm pretty sure he's larger in size. And when we get into some of like the crazy Demon Princes and Bellicor and some of these other models, they were up around like 150 and 170 range. So it wouldn't have shocked me to see Games Workshop hit us with the, Elf God, Demon Lord, Avatar, around those prices as well. So super nice looking model, very detailed, and $100 for him. I think that's great. I mean, again, you could argue, yeah, but I could 3D print something like an Avatar for $12 in resin. Sure. But if you want the real deal, if you want the actual Avatar, $100, I think that's as fair as it's going to get from GW. So $100 for the old Avatar. So definitely going to be magnetizing, probably the wrist right here, and then, right at the neck, or yeah, I would imagine it'll be the neck. So we'll have the axe, the spear, the sword, and then all 3 of our head options. The traditional Avatar head, the crazy, weird demon elf god head, and then of course like the kind of Spartan head as well. So keep your eyes out for that one. And I'm also going to be doing obviously a painting tutorial for him as well, maybe using contrast paints, possibly speed paints. I don't know, we'll decide as it comes up. If you have an opinion one way or the other between contrast paints or speed paints, let me know down below, and maybe we'll jump into that and see what you guys are interested in. Next in line, we have the Shining Spears. So we know the Shining Spears are going to come 3 to a box, including an Exarch. We know that the Windriders are $55. We know that the other Aspect Warriors are $60 and 5 in a box. So I figured they were going to be somewhere around $60 to $65. And again, they came in at $60. So $60 USD for the Shining Spears. Very cool. I think that's about as fair as they're going to get. I could have easily seen them charging more than the Windriders by $5, or more than the Aspect Warriors by, another $5. So I would not have been surprised to see them come in at 65. They came in at 60. So great looking models. I like how crisp and clean they look, and a couple of cool options as well for the Exarch weapon wise, and then some helmets, unhelmeted heads, etc. $60 for the Shining Spears USD. Next we have the Autarch. So the Autarch came in exactly where we've been sort of expecting. I mean, obviously the old Autarch was, I think, right around 30. The new one, of course, we expected him to come in more expensive, as he is a new sculpt, and pretty much anything they're releasing now, you would expect to come out at a higher price. So we've seen with the Space Marine characters, they were previously at $35 and most of them went up to $38. We saw with the unique characters, they were at like $42 and went up to $45. So this dude came in right in line with the Space Marine characters, $38 USD for the new Autarch. So no surprise there. Honestly, right in line with what we expected, and what we expect going forward in the future as far as the new sculpt characters are concerned. So. And then next we have the Rangers. The new Eldari Rangers are very cool, very nice and useful in game terms as well. Definitely one of the nicer troop choices. So these are 5 in a pack, and then the little shrine as well. We saw the Guardians obviously come out at $55. You get 10 of those with the platform, and then options to make either build. This Ranger sprue is relatively small, has quite a few options for like heads and weapons and everything, and some different poses. Very nice looking sculpts, but unfortunately these came in at $60. So $60 for the Rangers. I was hoping for $55, but honestly, not surprised with the $60. I basically put these right in line with the Aspect Warriors as far as GW is looking at them. So yeah, you actually get twice as many Guardians for the same price, and then you get the turret as well. But let's be real. Compared to these guys, the Guardians look like trash because these models look awesome, and they're obviously very good in game terms as well. So next we have the Shroud Runners. So the Shroud Runners, we've got 3 of them in a pack. Obviously 2 riders per. So we know the real only reference point we have on these guys is basically like the Dark Eldar and Harlequin, or Drukhari and Harlequin bikes, where you basically get 2 bikes with a driver and a rider. They're not as much gunners and more like, kind of like melee dudes riding on the back, but they're about the same size and everything. They come 2 in a pack for $42. So I would figure these are going to be somewhere around 42 plus another 50% would be another 21 on top of that. That'd be $63. And obviously these are a new sculpt as well. So of course, right in line with Games Workshop's pricing, the 3 of these Shroud Runners coming in at $65 for the 3. So $65 for the 3 Shroud Runners, basically coming in at, $22 a piece for these bad boys. Game term wise, they're okay. They definitely have some pluses and minuses to them. I think honestly they're a little better than they're probably getting credit for right now, just because they have some key speed and versatility with the sniper rifles. Being able to rapidly deploy in various areas, and then having a scout move on top of that, and then being able to not only move to where you can draw a sight to a enemy key character or something like that, but also to be able to snipe them without them being able to use any bodyguard rules or anything like that. I think it's getting sort of downplayed a little bit. They are very good, because there's 2 main things about bodyguard that makes it so strong. One is, you can't shoot the guy you want even if you can see him. And 2, you can't shoot the guy you want if you can see him if there's bodyguards around. So to be able to scout and then move to where you can shoot the guy you want because you can see him, and then also have the sniper rifles so you can shoot the guy you want because you have the sniper rule, and you ignore lookout sir, that's 2 pretty big bonuses that actually make the Shroud Runners really good. Now, points-wise, I don't know how viable they're going to be just because they're a little highly pointed, but also let's keep in mind, each one of these has a scatter laser as well. So not only do they dish out quite a bit of sniper fire, they have pistols for the shuriken ability, and then they have the scatter lasers as well. And, if you throw a couple psychic powers on these, they could do some serious damage. I think that these are probably going to be showing up a little more than people think. I mean, the Rangers are good, but they're also kind of slow, kind of static. They can scout ahead a little bit, which is kind of nice, forward deploy, etc. But I think these Shroud Runners may be better than they're getting credit for right now. So at $65 a set, obviously a little on the pricey end of the new Eldar releases, but not really that surprising. And then next we have the Aeldari Combat Patrol. So we went through the full breakdown on this. Basically figured out the Windriders are 55 apiece, 2 of those, so that is 110, plus another 55 for the Guardians, that is 165, another 60 for the Wraithlord, that is 225, and then of course we have the Farseer coming in at, I forgot to look, 35 I think it was for the Farseer. So right around $260 for this box set. And then of course the retail is right in line with everything else for the Combat Patrol at $150. So compared to retail, $110 off. So you're basically getting all your Shroud Runners for free. So if you're going to buy a Farseer, if you're going to buy some Guardians, and you're going to buy a Wraithlord, you get 6 bikes for free. Can't really argue with that. Overall, nice value in comparison to the other Combat Patrol boxes. Definitely one of the best deals. This one in specific is right in line with the Thousand Suns box. Thousand Suns box is obviously loaded with Zangors and upgrade sprues. This one, arguably, maybe more Windriders than most people want, but I think the Windriders are a lot more viable than the Zangors. And I think overall, if you pitted this box up against most, it would do pretty well. It's got a nice blend of Psychic. It's got some heavy weapons on the Wraithlord. It's got a couple heavy weapons on the bikes. You've got a heavy weapons platform. You've got the rending ability on the Shuriken catapults. You could alternatively do the Storm Guardians instead, and they have a little more durability. They get a bunch of bonuses if they're on objectives. I think overall this is a nice composition for a new army or adding on to an existing army, and a way to get a hold of some of the new sculpts as well. Overall, I think that's a great bargain compared to retail price. Next, we have the Warhammer 40,000 Tempest of War deck. So I was pretty much figuring this was going to come in right around 30 bucks. It ended up being $33 for the Tempest of War mission pack. So a lot of the decks recently, the cards have gone up between like $29 and $33. So right in line pretty much with the regular pricing on this type of stuff. Obviously the Ward card pack, it's nice for match play missions, obviously not a necessity, but it's one of those things that's convenient to have, so you're not flipping through a bunch of books. You have easy access to, your missions, your objectives, all that stuff right there. So again, it's not necessary to have, but nice to have if you appreciate that type of thing. So 33 bucks for those. Obviously, we have the range rotation and all the things leaving, and then on to the books. So next we have, and these are right in line with what we expected with the books. So we have the softcover or paperback novel Urdesh, coming in at $16. So we've seen these pretty much between, I want to say like 15 and 19 for these books. So it's pretty much right in the middle. I can't tell you if that's a good book or anything, or if it's a good value. But overall, a lot of Games Workshop stuff, people speak very highly of the novels and whatnot. And then we have the hardback Kingmaker Assassinorum, or Assassinorum Kingmaker. And again, right in line with some of the hardbacks. Actually a little on the cheaper side in comparison to the couple of ones we've seen recently. This is coming in at $27 for this one. So let's take a look down the list. I think we pretty much nailed it. We've got the White Dwarf coming out, $474, and that was $11. Shining Spears, Combat Patrol Eldari, Avatar, Shroud Runners, Rangers, Autarch, and then our books and cards. And a couple of you guys are actually Canadian as well, so I will go ahead and hit you with the Canadian prices here. So we have the Assassinorum Kingmaker at 32 Canadian. We have the Urdesh Serpent and the Saint at 17 Canadian dollars. We have a bunch of stuff going away. We've got the Tempest of War pack at $38 Canadian. We've got the Combat Patrol, which I'm sure you already know, is at $180 Canadian. We have the Shroud Runners Canadian at $80. And then we have the Rangers in Canadian dollary dues. Actually, wait, that might be the Australian ones. So Canadian dollars for the Rangers, 70 for them. And then we've got the Autarch in Canadian is 48. And we've got the Shining Spears is coming in at 75 Canadian. And then, of course, the Mighty God of Khaine, the Avatar, 120 Canadian. So right around 20% higher for most of those, which is, pretty close to the exchange rate currently. So not surprising. Now, that being said, when it's all said and done, I think pretty much everything came in line with what we expected. Avatar coming in cheaper. I didn't want to get too excited and lowball the Avatar. I was honestly expecting to be more expensive. So I'm very excited to see him at $100. Obviously, most people can get like a 15% or so discount. So somewhere around like 80 to 90 bucks with tax and everything. Nice model for that. Definitely beautiful and far superior to the Avatar from like the whatever it was. I mean, I think like late 80s, early 90s. Even the Forge World Avatar looks pretty good, but I think this dude is even better, and I much prefer plastic to resin. So the next comparison and final little wrap up I want to do today is I want to break down, now that we know all these official prices, what the Eldar half of the Eldritch Storm box comes out to, because obviously there's still quite a few of those floating around. It is still technically available on Games Workshop's site, even though it came out at 200. People were pissed about the price, and then Games Workshop's price rise was actually right after that, and they raised it to 210. So we literally went from these boxes being 170 to basically 210 almost right away. So a $40 increase. Arguably this was more value in the box, but less models. I don't know. It's hard for me to justify it, to tell you the truth. I did pick one up myself, but when it's all said and done, let's do the breakdown on this. So at 210 for the box, it's hard to argue that it's an even split, because Chaos basically got a character, an old demon engine, and a new squad of 5 dudes. Eldar got the Shroud Runners, the Autarch, and then the Rangers as well. So depending if you're going to call it an even split or not, at least we can figure out what it costs. So with the Autarch at 38 USD, with the Rangers coming in at, I want to make sure we get all these right, 60 USD, that's 98, and then 65 for the Shroud Runners. That is $163 if you were to just buy the Eldari or Eldar units from that set. So 163. So if you were going to buy these for retail, or you were considering buying Eldritch Omens for retail, right now at 163, you're talking about a $47 difference. So if you were going to buy all 3 of these units, for sure, without a doubt, and you still have opportunity to buy Eldritch Omens, which you do, for $47 more, you can get all the Chaos units. So you can get the new Chosen, you can get the Demon Engine, Mauler Fiend / Forge Fiend, and then you can get the guy that I can never remember his name, the Forge Master of the Forge. Nope, just not going to happen. Never can remember that dude's name. You're going to get the evil Chaos Tech Marine. So the truth is, probably the Chosen are going to cost that much on their own. I'm sure more than that, honestly. They're probably going to be 55 or 60 bucks. And then obviously the character is going to come in probably around, that $38 to $42 range. And then we know the Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend is like $70. So the truth is, if you're going retail, if you were thinking about buying the Eldar, you might be better off just picking up the box, especially if you got a buddy that plays Chaos that will split it with you, because you're going to save quite a bit of money over retail on these. And even if you only wanted 2 of these units, if you find somebody who can split it with you, and at 210, that's 105 a person, even split on the Eldritch Omens box, still available for now. 105 bucks. If you were going to split it with somebody, you're basically talking 65 for these bad boys, and then you're talking 38 for the Autarch. So basically right there, that is what, $103. So essentially, you basically get the Rangers for free. Or if you were going to buy the Rangers and the Shroud Runners, you get the Autarch for free and save a couple bucks. Or alternatively, if you were going to buy the Rangers and the Autarch, you're talking about 98 bucks. So you pay $12 more, you split it with your friend, and you get a unit of Shroud Runners. So that's the way I look at it. I'm not some shill for Games Workshop. I know people get sensitive when I talk about prices and it's more expensive than they wanted to pay or they can afford to pay or whatever. I'm all about 3D printing, guys. I love Games Workshop minis. I love the lore. I love the game. I'm not a paid sponsor by Games Workshop. I think what they do is criminal. The way they treat their fans, the way they treat their, customers, etc. But the truth is, it is what it is. We have 2 choices. We can either buy their minis to play their games, or we can not buy their minis and still play their games or play other games. All those options are acceptable. But the truth is, this channel is based around most Games Workshop games, and most people are fans or want to hear about the prices, etc. So I'm not some shill. You don't see me with rules in advance. I didn't sign an NDA disclosure agreement, none of that stuff. I keep it real with you guys. When Games Workshop screws the people, I tell you that they are pieces of blank. When Games Workshop does something good, I tell you as well. So the truth is, Eldritch Omens is definitely overpriced, and it's scummy what they did, basically pumping up their profit margins to record levels of almost 40% when historically it's closer to 20%, and then blaming it on everything going on in the world. It's definitely scummy and horrible, horrible business practices. And, I did a video exposing them. I'll even put it at the end, so if you didn't watch that out yet, I dive into their financial statement and basically expose them for the scumbag liars that they are. Keep in mind, they told us on average things were going to go up 5%, and then in all reality, some things, a couple might go up 10%, and then some resin and metal models might go up as high as 20%, and then in all reality, we saw everything across the board go up basically 12% or more, including some of the things that just came out. So are they scummy? Yes, they are for sure. But you know what? They have a monopoly. If you want their models, you got to pay the prices. You can often get a discount through a third-party retailer or online, etc. So there's options out there. But the truth is, they could have hit us a lot harder with the Avatar, and I'm glad they didn't, because I definitely want one of these dudes. It is an awesome-looking model with some minor changes. This thing is going to look sick, and is definitely going to be the head of my Aeldari army. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But I think we pretty much hit the rundown. Everything went out good. You guys know that I haven't signed the NDA, obviously. I know sometimes people are like, oh, you're just shilling Games Workshop stuff and you just love them. No, I mean, I love their models. I love the game. I love the lore. I've been playing since Rogue Trader days. It sucks where the community has gone. It sucks where the prices have gone and the corporate business practices of the company. It does suck. It definitely does. But the truth is, man, I still buy their stuff. I 3D print a lot of stuff too. I do a lot of stuff to try to help save people money or cut corners where I can without losing quality. But the truth is, it's free for me. I used to do a ton of conversions. I used to do a ton of kit bashing for stuff that wasn't around, or make my own characters for Space Marines to save money. And now the truth is, as I've run into a situation where I have less time and more money, it's a lot of the times just easier for me to pay a little bit more, get what I want, and not spend a bunch of time making terrain or kit bashing characters or whatever. But I do plan on possibly using some of the bits for the Eldar army as I'm building it to make a couple extra characters. So keep your eyes out for that. There's a lot of cool bits in the Autarch with some of the like Farseer and warlock bits and stuff like that. And I think I may do a little kit bash on some bikes and basically make a couple extra characters out of some of the extra bits and some of the basic Windriders from the set. So, while we're here, I'll talk about it real quick. If you're not interested in this, obviously you can go your separate way. But one thing I was looking at is in this set right here, I don't know that I will use 6 Windriders. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to pick up one of the Farseer / warlocks on jet bike, and then I'm going to use the extra bits from that set to kit bash a second model. So if I build the Farseer on the bike, I'm probably going to kit bash a warlock from the remaining parts, the extra weapon and the helmet, onto one of these bros, and then add in either like some random bits or putty to make them a little bit more like eccentric, and then I'll have a Farseer and a warlock out of that same kit. So that is basically my plan there. Little shortcut, nothing too crazy, but save some money, get some extra cool models out of it, and then we'll see. I may do more stuff like that if you guys are into it into the future. I know that people like to save money, so but again, a lot of times I have less time and more money, so it's just easier for me to go the the evil route and just buy the overpriced kits directly from GW and just make it happen. And the truth is, the quality of their models, the overall look is fantastic. So you can't help but love them. Obviously, I do 3D print quite a bit of stuff. I love 3D printing terrain, and you can easily make massive amounts of terrain for pennies on the dollar. I highly recommend that. I know a lot of people like to 3D print models as well. There is nothing wrong with that. If you're into it, guys, by all means. I think the best route so far for me is a combination of the two. I love 3D printing stuff and 3D printable add-on awesome bits, but also it's great to be able to buy some of these cool awesome kits, get a bunch of cool bits. And the truth is, I hated metal when everything was made out of metal. It was so hard to like convert and cut, and everything just looked so like 2D and monopose. And I hate resin bits. Sometimes 3D printed bits are fragile as well. I love plastic. It's super easy to convert. It's strong. It's durable. Once you throw some paint on it, you can drop your guys on the floor and they don't even break. You really can't beat it. So, but that being said, we ranted on long enough at the end there. Hopefully you guys are feeling me and you understand where I'm coming from. I understand some people have more time and less money, Nothing wrong with that. And by all means, get out there, convert, be resourceful, search the internet, scour the forums, and get some discount models. They're out there. All you got to do is find them. There's lots of other cool channels as well. Like if you're into that type of thing, buying old models, repurposing them, that eBay miniature rescue channel with Casey is awesome. If you're into like different games and stuff, there's tons of other cool channels. There's a lot of cool channels on making terrain. In my opinion, you can make some amazing terrain, but GW also offers a lot of terrain. And then the truth is you can find some pretty awesome STL files and 3D print some amazing terrain as well. So a combination of 3D printing, crafting, and straight up just buying models is the best way, in my opinion. I do all three of those things, some more than others, but when it's all said and done, as long as you're enjoying the hobby and you're spending your hobby dollars and your hobby hours in an efficient way that is making you enjoy the hobby and get what you put in out of it and putting a smile on your face, I think that's the most important thing. So but that's it for today. If you enjoy these pricing videos, reactions, news and reviews, unboxings, and all kinds of other cool stuff like that, we've got tons and tons of commissions that go out of the studio that we show off completed. Always list all the paints and techniques used. If you ever have any questions, feel free to ask about those. Everything is divided up into various folders or playlists if you want to find them easily. And then also we do all kinds of basically painting and modeling, conversion, magnetizing, and lighting tutorials, so check those out as well. But that is it for today. If you're into that Warhammer 40,000 content, Necromunda, Kill Team, Age of Sigmar, or Warcry, this is the place for you. Make sure to like and subscribe. It's an absolutely free way to support me and the channel and what we're doing here. But that being said, I am Warhammer Man. This is Warhammer Man Studios, and I'm out of here.